Hello, hello. Oh, there we go. All right. Good morning, everybody. Do you swing mostly in the current market? There's a lot of factors and information packed into that question. Can you expand upon that question? Or maybe I read it wrong. Do you swing trade mostly in the current market? Yes, there is some packed information in there, like you're not sure whether you should day trade, scalp day trade, swing trade, scalp swing trade, invest, position trade. What is this current market and what's the best way to trade it? I remember your older videos. Who are you? Remember you? What's your name? I remember your older videos. You were day trading more frequently than currently. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Those that technique and everything is definitely a method that you can use and that I was using, but I am simply focusing on high growth swing trading for 2025. In one part, probably 30% of it, not a small part, not the majority of the reason, but a good part is that I've joined the international, like basically swing trading competition. So I am just like wholeheartedly diving in and focusing on that. But like the last 6 months of last year, or maybe it was longer, I was doing position trading and building positions up, snowballing them into greater and greater size at risk-free, using a risk-free technique. And that's what we focused on last year. If you want to start going through all my lives from last year, you don't go to the video section on YouTube. They separate it out. You have to go to the lives. And you could potentially watch those from, I don't know, I think it was really refined and we were really getting into it around October. So October, November, December. But we were definitely doing it before that as well. And then although this year I have a sort of more refined version that I'm doing, which is that's part of it, the position snowballing technique, but also and more primarily swing scalping, which is when you get into something on a signal and you're in for between the same day to up to maybe 20 days, which is on the rare side. Maybe 1 out of 20 trades might end up going that long, but most trades end between 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 days. And you're looking at something like this. Let's just pick any stock that I happen to have, maybe. Let's see. Pardon me, I did have my coffee. Good morning, Michael. Hey, Michael. Good morning. Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of a good example, but not a great example. How about, let's see, a bit more of a good example for you. I'm certainly in a lot of these puppies. Okay, here's a good example. So it's a stock that's in some kind of a growth cycle. So we can see that that's true from when it broke out of its base and moved up above the 200 moving average. And it's been above the 200 moving average essentially, or moving up and growing ever since. It had one little rocky period there. Fine, that can happen, but still, as you can see, it's definitely in a growth cycle. So growth cycle number one. Then now, once it's in the growth cycle like that, all you're doing is you're looking for entry signals. So here, for example, it was one, because it had a lower low every day prior to that in a pullback, and then finally it started to break that. So you enter with a stop at the low of the day, and then you set, depending on the size of the risk unit, which in this case is about average, you set about a 4 to 1 for your profit target. So 1, I'm just kind of visually estimating this here, 2, 3, 4. So you can see here, you'd be all out by that day on that trade. So that's one trade, and that's 4 to 1 on your risk reward, perfectly and cleanly executed. That doesn't mean you take profits. You take 4 profits. That's how you set up 4 to 1 risk to reward on the signal. That's your final target up there. The technique is to take out somewhere around 10 partials, evenly distributed all the way up to that point. So you take partials all the way up and you just set those, and then so that was one trade that worked, as you can see. So here, entry, here was the exit. That also was another entry day, by the way. Here, entry, and that would have been stop at low of the day here. That's a tight stop. You probably would have gone for 8 to 1 in that situation. And so that probably took you all the way to the top here. And so just rinse and repeat, tons of little signals everywhere. This is a signal here on that day. It was green at that moment. Stop at the low of the day. Pretty tight. Probably can go for a 6 to 1. And that would definitely hit all those targets right there. And it's just all over the place. And that's just one stock. But when these stocks are in these growth cycles, you can pounce on every signal. Not that it'll work out, but here is one. Stop at low of the day. Probably 8 to 1 you're going to be able to get out of that. And it did hit. Here's another signal. Boom, right there. Stop at low of the day. That's definitely an 8 to 1 or maybe even a 16 to 1. And you hit all of them. Signal right here. That's a bit of a wider stop. So you're going for about a 4 to 1. You might even go for a 3 to 1 on that. 1. And you can watch all my previous videos, it's just lives, to try to see me teaching any more about that. But there you go. There's 3 to 1. All right, the market's going to open in 2 minutes. But as you can see, there's another signal right down here. Stop. And that's about a 4 to 1. And looks like it hit every single one of them as well. I mean, this Duolingo has been good. Here's one signal that didn't work out. Stop. And about a 6 to 1. 1, 2, 3 targets hit. Then it pulled back and stopped out. So that would have been a loser. But in the meantime, you've gotten about 30 to 1. So you can lose 1. Yep, snowball. You can use a snowball technique for day trading. Absolutely, yeah. And we've done that as well. All right, 1 minute till the market opens. So that's an answer to your question. Yeah, you can do snowballing, you can snowball swing trading, you can snowball day trading, and then scalping is like this. You scalp with something in an up cycle. It's some kind of trend, uptrend, up cycle. It's in a growth state. The last whatever it is, whether it's minutes on a day trade or whatever, but it's in an up trend, an up state. And then you scalp it. You just do little scalps on every signal. And in swing trading, it looks like what I just showed you there. All right, market's opening in 30 seconds. And I didn't get to check the economic events of the week. Let's see. Tomorrow we have the Fed doing some testimony at 10 a.m. That's going to freak out the market. Then we have inflation rate coming. CPI on Wednesday. This is a big week. And PPI on Thursday. All right, so this is a big week. Trains are going to be coming in every direction. Do not stand in front of those trains. Be very careful. All right, market is open. Let's see what we got going on. Right out of the gate, I can see that my position in TOST is doing good. All right, very nice. The market itself is starting to fade. I think we're going to have a sell-off here at the open. I do not know for how long, but I think the pressures are pretty strong on the market right now with all the tariff wars going on. That'll be just fine for some companies, but not fine for others. So that's going to cause some mixed results on the market. Thanks, you're welcome. What else is doing good here? Team continuing to make strides in my port. App is doing well, yes. Art, probably gonna have to let that go pretty soon. But I think it's just taking profits. Oh, we got earnings coming up, so that'll be interesting. I have a huge padding on that. Team Cerdo, whatever that is, I forget. Fredo Technology, okay. So this is just a little bit an inch above my entry. And I'm looking to get all these profits up here. Boom, 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 boom. I entered on a signal there, and it was a little bit high. That was the correct signal day and moment, but it could have been better to get it more towards the beginning of the day at 73 with a stop down there. Much tighter, and I would have hit all my profit targets already. It would have been an easy trade. One of the things that I've added already just in the last couple of days as a rule to the swing scalping technique is don't get in on a signal if it's signaling in a prior signal's path. So you might be wondering, like, what does that mean? It means if there was another signal prior to that day, however many days back, and it didn't refresh to be able to create a new signal, and it's extending. See, let's say a stock just goes up and up and up every day. Let me see if I can find a run like that somewhere. Okay, so like over here, this is a signal. Well, actually, frankly, even this is a signal because it's way above here. So really, this is a signal. But after a catalyst day like that, you could still take that follow-through signal. So let's say that's the signal, right? And okay, wait, just to illustrate my point, let me go over here. This is a little bit more clear. This is a signal right here above the pullback, lowering highs, lower highs, and then boom, it's a signal. And that's an entry right there. But this next day is also went above this high. So that's a signal, but you don't take it because it's still within the first signal's run. And then there's another signal right here, but you don't take it because it's still within the prior signal's run. And then you don't take it here either, or here either, or here either. So you got to keep it at the original signal, or don't take it. Now, there's some, as you get more advanced, there's some exceptions here, okay? I'm going to talk about that right now for just a second, but everything I just said was true for you, wherever you are in the beginning, intermediate, and maybe advanced intermediate levels, okay? But here definitely is an override for the expert because you realize that this has created a long base. It's VCP'd it out of, and this is a signal. Yeah, this was a better signal over here, but not too far off. But my main point is don't get into something on a secondary signal day, especially as the thing is already extending off of the first signal. Okay, So that's been a refinement, and that's been a good refinement to have going in the system. All right, let's take a look at the market. Okay, the growth market at least is hanging in there. S&P 500 is going down. Dow Jones Industrials are going up. So this is a real mixed market at the open here, but it looks like, well, wow, it's just so mixed because financials are pulling back, but energy is going up. So it's like, is it inflationary? Utilities are staying, and now it shows that industrials is pulling back. Maybe I don't have the right industrials on my charter. One of these is delayed. Something's not right about that. The dollar is remaining perfectly strong, remaining solid. The VIX is hanging around at 16. Bitcoin's advancing a little bit. It's coming out of a scoop. It's scooping out of a pullback. And the growth market, QQQ, is moving up. And also rates are coming down a little bit. But the S&P 500 is pulling back. So strange. So and gold is staying where it's at. So we're getting some mixed messages. But overall, we have probably more forces saying up than down. All right, so that's, so you can kind of like feel out, how scared you need to be of the market. What happened here with Robinhood? What happened here? Robinhood, I got all my exits at this one price. Why? Did it pop really high or something? Let me see. Hood. Maybe it was on earnings. I don't know. Okay, yeah, that's my final exit. See, I set up this 2-to-1 based on a very wide stop I had to set, and all the way out at the 2-to-1, and boom, it just hit. So there we go. I'm out of Robinhood, and look at that. It's just perfect. Right into earnings. I don't have to risk earnings. I got all my money and my original money back, the profits, everything. I don't have to risk earnings, and we can let earnings play out without being at risk there. That's perfect. Closed. I just got a fill on, was that Reddit? Yeah, Reddit. Okay, so let's go take a look at Reddit and see what it's doing. Nice. It has a very similar situation like as Robinhood. Earnings are coming up any day here. And I am very extended in profits, I believe. Let's see where I am. Could have been a snowballed position, so let's see. Which means that it has an inaccurate cost basis. But yeah, I mean, even so, I'm up 25%, it says. I don't know if that's off of this break even. 50%. From my original entry, and I snowballed this. From my original entry, I'm up 87% on that Reddit. And, but where is it now? Yeah, it's in my swing scalping folder because of the way it's been behaving, very too strong, overly strong. So it's on a trajectory until about 252 to be taking profits out of here. And with that much of padding, I'm likely going to be able to hold through earnings using some of the profits as risk padding. All right, we're about like 53% bullish this morning on growth stocks. Let me keep running through some of my positions. Wow, Tost is doing quite nicely. Well, it doesn't look like much, but because my risk unit was pretty small, we're getting some nice movement there. Team, I was just looking at, yeah, that's doing good. VRT. All right, VRT with very nice follow through on my signaled entry. So here was the entry on that this day. And I happened to get in at the end of the day up here. But that was the entry day. Risk to stop on the bottom there. Entry there. And it's been following through, and it's doing so right now. And what did I do? I set up probably a, thinking about a 4-to-1. So probably 1-to-1, 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1. I don't think I'm going to hit any of that in all that in just one day before earnings. So I will probably have to cut that tomorrow or the next day if the earnings are after hours on Wednesday. They are in the morning Wednesday, so I'll be cutting that tomorrow with profits to de-risk since there's no padding. S&P 500 pulling back, red day, QQQ, green little sliver of a moment. Dow Jones Industrials, red, okay. So then what the hell am I seeing over there? That is so weird. How is that red? Oh yeah, okay. That's just weird. QQQ. Okay, now continuing to look at more of my positions. Cerrito or Cerrito, cares whatever it is, Credo. All right, fine. MMYT, that's top of our charts right now this morning. I don't know why. All right. GEV, doing all right. On. Really pulling back. It looks like I'm going to get stopped out of on if it doesn't find support today or tomorrow or the next day. AFRM. All right. Carvana. Okay, bit of a pullback there. Now, moving to my mass positions, my snowballs. My triple snowball here on Geo looks like maybe turning around. So now as you can see, this could be an entry because this is for the first time a higher high over a prior bar in a pullback, but not quite yet. It needs to put in a little more conviction, and then you can set up your stop and a trade potentially here on that one. Now, as you can see, though, we are now in a pullback cycle that isn't following through, so that trade does have risk that it won't work out. Anyway, I'm in Geo at a much different price, and we're watching it. You guys hear me? Everything blinked. Sure what happened with the internet there. All right, AHR pulling back a bit hard. Bros. Zevia. I think I'm back. It doesn't even say there was any dropped frames. That's crazy. There probably was. Zevia is like at my stop. Good have to get rid of Zevia's on the chopping block. Meta's flying. I'm up 21% on that trade. ET, a little bit of a pullback. Energy's on a pullback today. Walmart. Okay. Avco. And all over the map, huh? United Airlines. Gosh. Kind of a big pullback. Not huge, but a strong pullback. Halfway through my risk to stop. DNA. Okay. AS. Coming back to break even. INSM after flying out. Okay. ACPA. Pulling back. Root. Palm. Calm. WLFC. Yeah, that looks good. Amazon. SMLR. Oh, it kicked us off Twitch. Am I still here on YouTube? Hello, hello. SMLR. SE. SoFi. Yeah. Duolingo. Nice. Summit. Okay. Curling up a little bit there. Potentially a signal. For those of you not in it already. Swing trade, a scalp trade. Scalp swing. Swing scalp. RCAT. IonQ. What to do with IonQ? Okay. Sound. Par. Come on, Par, you can do it. Reddit. Egal. Okay, the market's moving up now and everywhere across the board. Strong, broad bounce. PSTG. Microsoft. App. Lunar. BST and crowd. Oh, crowd nice. Flying out of there. And United Airlines wants to pull back hard this morning. That must be part of the S&P 500 pulling back. Rate still coming down a little bit. Okay, let's see if there's any new names Monday. Monday with a huge earnings reaction. I'd like to get in that right now. The risk to stop is just so damn wide, though. Yeah, not much you can do about it either. All right, we'll see how that goes. We definitely can watch Monday. I'm going to put that on my hot list. While I got my hot list open, I can go through those names. But first, let me go through this scan list that I was just going through that I found Monday on NVIDIA. Roku. Rocket Lab. I thought I was in Rocket Lab, but I guess I got kicked out. Let's see. Rocket Lab. I guess I just barely got kicked out the other day. I'm not in that anymore. Let's see. Like it. Oh, that reminds me, I gotta pull up my Webull. See how that's doing. All right, that's just like at equilibrium. That's actually doing pretty good. Okay, good. Next up, Rocket Lab, BRT, CEG, WBRK, CEG. That's interesting. It's definitely a signal day, but do I really want the entry? Yeah, that is an entry on CEG, which I'm going to take. Okay, let's get in it. So 321. Risk to stop is going to be 312.50. 321 minus 312.50 is 8.5. So 41 shares for my allocation size. The bid and the ask is fairly tight, so I'll go for a market order. It's relatively tight. Okay, good. It gave me right in the middle of the spread. I appreciate that, market makers. And now we're going to set up 10 exits across we got here kind of an average size day. Yeah, across a 4 to 1. So for me, that's $1,400 of gain. So every $140, we're going to put a GTC EXTO order in times 10. So we start putting those in. 280, 420. What am I doing? 140, 280 plus 140. Yeah, 420, 560. Just keep adding 140, 60, 700. 840, 980, 1120, 1260, 1400. Oh, that'd be all of them. Okay, good. And then I have one extra share left. And what I usually do with that is I just put it in between any of those, but starting at the bottom. So the probabilities go up and likelihoods of it executing go up. Okay, there we go. Now I just want to illustrate it on the chart, so whenever I come back to it, I know what the heck's going on. 321,456, 321,456, right around there. Stop at the low of the day of 312.50. 21,456. Okay, and, like I said, I set up a 4-to-1, so we're looking at right about there. The earnings, I don't really want to, probably don't want to hold it into earnings. We'll see. Okay, it's having a little bit of a pullback right now. Hopefully it doesn't just crap out and turn red, because then I got to cut it for a loss. And that's the danger of getting in the morning. But if I had waited all day to get in, then I might have only been able to go for a 2-to-1. So it pays for itself by getting bigger risk reward to risk. Rocket Lab, VRT, Becky. All right, let's take a look at KC, some of the ones on our hot list. KC, nope, this is still extending. Hood, still extending on a prior signal. GLW pulling back. Val, no. United Airlines. Palantir. That's, post signal. Still extending. UI. Woo, that looks bad. I'm going to cross that off of our list, and this is how they get crossed off. All right. And also Palm we looked at earlier, and PAR we looked at earlier. Kivio. Not a signal. It's kind of a signal, but it's not sitting there in the signal zone now. But it also is kind of not a signal because it's part of a prior signal. It's secondary signal, and that's not good. Duolingo, I think we already looked at. Okay, GEV, we already looked at. AFRM. Nice, it's being bought up nicely. HIMS. Okay. ANET. TPL. NRG. And then that Monday. I didn't get in Monday? No, it's hard to get in. Moved. Because, where do you put your stop? I mean, you could put it underneath this little pivot here, 330. It's just that seems awfully close. I just feel like it's going to pull back and test today. Yeah, the volume is declining a bit too much. Sell volume is getting bigger. Yeah, interesting. It looks like market manipulation. It may very well end up red today, or be sell off tomorrow. I think it's market makers playing around. Let's see, anything else? Docs. Wow. No, we have to keep that on our list, but we definitely missed that one. Docs. SAG, Rocket Lab, VRT, Becky, Mobileye. No. See, it's not really in a growth cycle. MSTR. Yeah, it's in a growth cycle, but it's not quite a signal. MSTR. We can always continue to take a look at it. So I'll put it on the list. It's not in a beautiful growth cycle. MSTR, what was above that? Avgo, SoFi, TLN, CLS. Okay. I mean, today's not entry day. Didn't we just look at this? I feel like we just looked at this. TLN. Anyway, it goes on our list, though. TLN, not M. TLN. I wrote it down. There we go. CLS, which we've been in before. Or I'm still in. Might have got stopped out of this puppy or taken out profits. Still in this. What happened there? Maybe I was set up a 2-to-1 and I hit it. I think that's what happened. Let me see. I'm going to pull up my account statement. What happened on CLS? Did we stop out? Did we sell at market? Did I hit all my profit targets? I'm going to let that pull up for a second. CLS, but we definitely want to keep CLS on the radar. I think it's an energy company. I don't know. Celestica. I forget. Oh no, I think they do servers. What am I doing now? Yeah, anything else on the scanner here? I mean, AUR, but I think we've seen that many times and decided against it. Yeah. CCJ. Marvell. That's just a big knot. CN. All right, and the smaller names, CN is in a growth cycle. It's just choppity fuck. CN. It's worth checking out every now and then. Okay, now in the smaller names, TRVG. Wow. UAMI. United States Antimony Corporation. I wanted to keep an eye on. Oh, for only $2? Yeah, that's a little bit iffy. VNet, this is why it's not a good idea to go with these smaller caps. VNet is certainly flying, but damn, it's such a small cap. How about this one? What is that? Net. I think that's Cloud. Flare? Yeah, Net. I like that. Beautiful. I mean, it's not an entry today, but it's one to watch. One to put on the hot list. Anything else here? Let's see. NNE. Yeah. A little bit sketchy. Worth keeping on the hot list. That's been a difficult one to trade after that initial growth period. SpurtNet, SMR, CLS. Did I look at SMR? I know I looked at SMLR. No. BE. TAL, Chinese education company. Thanks. EH, Futu. Right. Oracle, it's had earnings coming up this week. Oh, I thought it did. Never mind. It does not. It's kind of all over the damn map. That looks really hard to trade. Oracle, Avgo, TPL. We looked at EDR. Dever. Boy, it's going crazy the last 2 weeks. Maybe it's since the election, since Trump got in or something. But it kind of looks like. Wonder what it has to do with all that. Dever. Madison Square Garden. Oh, is this a Trump-affiliated sports company? Days ago, likely battle similarly. Fourth quarter results. It's a MMA. Oh, this is. I think this is. I think I remember now. Endeavor has something to do with Trump. Forget what. But yeah, we're gonna keep that on the list, and that is just going bonkers right now. EDR. Endeavor. Too bad it couldn't be EDVR. Endeavor or ENDV or something. For a better ticker. All right. GitLab came up. Let's see. Yeah. Futu, Fastly. Let's check. Did I check Futu? I think I Fastly. Zillow. It looks like it's in a growth cycle and you could be getting signals on it. Looks a little sketchy, but it might provide. What's below Zillow? Zillow. SE. Oh yeah, this is a beauty. SE. When it's a beauty like that, like you could put a star next to it, you know, in your hot list on your paper. You should always do paper hot list. We talked about that last week. SE. Geo, already looked at. RCL, that's Royal Caribbean. Yeah, that's in a gorgeous growth cycle. RCL. DWB. Did I look at EQ2? WB, was that Warner Brothers? Weibo. EXPE, I think that's Expedia. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit back and forth. We need to see more trending. CCL Docu. Docu? I did Docs. Did I check out Docu? No, I didn't. Okay. Docu looks good too. Not today, but it's in the growth cycle. Something to put on the hot list. FTNT. TNet. Yeah. That's a tough one. I'll put it on the list and we'll keep an eye on it. FTNT, KGC, Gold Company, Kinross Gold, tied to a commodity, that's not good. IoT, Discover Financial Services, not really. American Airlines. How's United Airlines doing then? Not holding up too well. Airlines under pressure today. JD, I think that's a Chinese company. Yeah. Don't trade Chinese companies. AI. H. ESX. Oh, Boston Scientific Corporation. So smooth. This kind of one you want to be building a position in. Boy, so smooth. BSX. Boston Scientifics. All right, guys, that's the morning for you. Thanks for tuning in. We're at the top of the hour, and we've navigated this opening quite nicely, I think. I'll let you know if there's any alerts throughout the day, unofficially in the chat of the Discord. And then for members, in premium alerts, towards the end of the day, you'll see any de facto, solid, end of day type of verified alerts going out. All right. Thanks very much, everybody. Have a good one.